Okay, so hello everybody. What is it you have? My name is William, and you can also call me now as Duke or my Mandarin name, which is William. Okay. Now today I'm going to do these videos called let me get onto my Excel form first, okay? I'm not on that. But yeah, the video I'm talking about today is called which is about to talk about evil dictatorships. Now, I'm on Freedom House to show you about dictatorships. So, which countries over here that are ruled by dictators? Well, let me show you. Right here, see? Can you see the ones over here that says right here, not free? Well, the countries that are not free, these are the countries that are ruled by dictators. Okay, and I will show you. I'll tell you. Okay? The one that says purple, the ones that are in purple, those are the countries that are ruled by dictators. Here, I'll tell you right here, see? So I'll tell you which ones. You got Nicaragua. That country is ruled by a dictator. And you got Venezuela right here. Haiti. I guess Haiti is another country that's ruled by a dictator. And so is Cuba. See? You got Western Sahara right there, and I guess in Morocco. Algeria. Mali. There's Guinea. So okay, so there you have 100. Yeah, okay, I didn't know the Guineas ruled there. Burkina Faso. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, okay. And there's Libya, Egypt, Chad, Sudan, and there's South Sudan. There's Chad here, Cameroon, Central African Republic. A lot of these African countries are still not free, as you can see. Oh, come on. Close that, please. There's Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Somalia, and there's Somaliland too, but yeah. And Uganda's not free. Same with the East Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the West Congo, which is the Republic of the Congo. Gabon, Equatorial Guinea. You see, even that one's not free either, see? And there's also, Angola's not free either. Zimbabwe, that's not free either. And also, Eswatini, which is what's called Swaziland, that's also not free either. And that's a country that's by this democratic country, South Africa. So those are the African countries. You can see I show you I showed a lot of North and South American ones, and also African countries. What about some European ones? Well, you got Russia here and Belarus. and Turkey. Maybe it's just any more European countries. Yeah, okay, so, alright. Okay, you got, oh yeah, another one, Azerbaijan. So, and look at these Asian countries. I'll show you which ones are ruled by dictators. So, you got Syria. So there's Syria right there. Jordan. Now, West Bank and Gaza Strip, those cities are part of Palestine anyway. And there's Iraq right there, Saudi Arabia. Oh, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Oman. Oh, there's Yemen right there. And there's Iran, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. I don't know why they calling these Kashmir cities. I think these are part of Pakistan anyway. And there's and then other ones right here: Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam. That's a lot. And you also got North Korea and Russia. But what now? The only one I did not mention is the one that Matthew Tai from Laowai 86 and Mr. Zorzo always talk about. Yeah, I know this country, China. And I don't know why they're separating Tibet in this one. Because I know that, first of all, because I already know that Tibet has already been taken over by China anyway, so I don't know why they're separating Tibet anyway. Because right now, Tibet is part of China. Yeah, right now it is. It just before it wasn't. So you can see there's a lot of countries are ruled by dictators. A lot. And this is something that's not good because it can lead to a war, and this is something you have to learn about. I think we are heading to World War III very soon, and this is not good. See, and you can see why it's terrible to live in a country that's ruled by dictatorship. Well, because you see, when a country is ruled by dictatorship, it's not free at all. You might have to do is either believe in Islam or believe in communism or whatever, and also worship the dictator, and that's not good either. And they also want you to worship the dictator instead of Jesus, and that's not good either. It caused an insult of idolatry, and you're being deceived, or you're just being forced to do it. And plus, being forced to worship something, it's not even true worship. First of all, okay. Let's just see that just being like being forced to worship Jesus. That's not true worship. Now, which one am I missing? That's Brunei. Okay, I guess I forgot about that one. So you can see, well, these other countries are so small. So it's not good. All right. Now, I'll let you read this to yourself because it take me so long. But we can also we can go through some Bible verses here. And these are verses from the ESV, but I can read it from the King James. Now we can go to X. Where it states here, it says Peter and the apostles answered and said, "We ought to obey God rather than men." Yeah, the only problem is that when you try to obey God inside while you're living in these dictatorship countries, you will get arrested, and that's not good. Because they hate the Bible, they hate God, and that's just something, and I know this is not good at all. Even because I know the Chinese. I learned that the Chinese government, they made their own version of the Bible and the Quran and some other books about other religions. I think they mailed. Yeah, did they make their own version of one of the Buddhist? They made their own communist version of the Buddhist and Hindu books, as well. That's my question. I'd like to know too. Now, what is the list of dictators? Well, I can give you some lists of dictators on Google. Okay, so you got this one. All right. Okay. All right, so you got Kim Jong-un. That's the guy who rules North Korea. You got Bashar al-Assad. That's the leader of Syria. Xi Jinping, which is the leader of China. Vladimir Putin, which is the leader of Russia. Alexander Lukashenko, the leader of Belarus. Ali Khamenei, okay, that's the leader of Iran. Okay, Teodoro Obiang Negro Abayasco, Oh, that's the leader of Equatorial Guinea. Isaias Afwerki, the leader of Eritrea. Paul Biya, the leader of Cameroon. Daniel Ortega, the leader of Nicaragua. Yori Museveni, the leader of Uganda. And right here you got Miguel Diaz-Canel, the leader of Cuba. And then you got Min Aung Hlaing, the leader of Myanmar. So you can see is that's a lot of dictators. But that gives you a list of how many people are dictators of those countries. How many countries are ruled by dictators? I know it's not good at all. I know it's bad. It's evil. So that's why. It's just something that, and are dictators friends with each other? Well, my answer is no, they aren't. You know what? And here's why. They're trying to buy friends. And we can look at, and we can learn that, you can get that from China, for example. You know what? China's not friends with these guys. Because, what these dictators countries say they try to do? They try to buy friends, and that's what the good thing they're doing. They're good, they're good. They're trying to, buy friends, because they don't have any friends. That's why, and they know there will be, and plus I know their common enemy is the U.S. First of all. And this is something you have to know about anyway. Okay, we can look at Proverbs 25, verse 26. I'm looking for some verses to be listed here. I know they use in the ESV, but I can look at them in the King James. So Proverbs 25, verse 26. I'm gonna read them from the KJV. So because I don't want to read it. I don't want to read the ESV. That's why. Oh, here it says, "The righteous man falling down before the wicked, it is the troubled fountain, it is a dripping fountain and the corrupt spring." So let me tell you something. The word dictator is not found in the Bible, but we can look at why it's not good to live in a country that's ruled by a dictator. You see, now the problem is that living in a country that's ruled by a dictator, let me tell you something, you have a pretty good chance of disappearing forever. And also the chance you're going to be in is hell, because these countries don't even tell you much about Jesus at all, and this is not good. Now I don't believe that everybody that lives in these countries are in hell, but I believe that many of them are. I believe there are some that are in heaven, and and this is something, that about that. Yeah, I'm glad, and I'm glad that some of them are in heaven because they choose to trust Jesus instead of trusting these dictators. And why they want to call themselves democratic if they're autocratic countries? Well, they're just trying to deceive you. That's why. You know, to make you think they're democratic, but they aren't. They're autocratic. Well, the only verse. Now look to Return to verse 27. It says, now people go to a verse. Now, why should we hate dictators? Well, first of all, well, let's go to look to Return to verse 27 because I'm not gonna look at all these verses, but I'll look at some of them. He says to them, show the Lord God with thy heart and all thy soul and all thy strength and all thy mind, and thy neighbor is thyself. Well, let's talk about loving your neighbor. Yeah, but what about? But the problem is that people is going to take something else out of context. The word that says love your enemies. Now, I do believe you should love your enemies. That is true. But what are we talking about? Is something as being your enemy here? Okay, it says love your enemies. Okay, so it's in Matthew chapter 4. All right, so it's Matthew chapter 5, verse 44, and then you can look at Luke 6 and 35. Because these are the verses they take out. Because these are the verses they take out of context here. So let's go to those verses, and I'll show you where you have to hate these dictators. Alright, so they say to you, love your enemies, bless and curse you, be good to them that hate you, and pray them and despitefully use to persecute you. Well, that is true, but we're talking about people that hate God. So I know people will take this verse on the context, on the comments below, and tell me I should love these dictators, but no, we shouldn't. And now let's go look at chapter 6 and 35, because I think they're going to take those. It's just saying, which you hear, love your enemies, good do good to them which hate you. And this is what here also 35. But love your enemies and do good in the land. Whom do nothing again, his reward will be great. And ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is a kind, unthankful to the evil. Well, let me tell you something. Even though the Bible says to love your enemies, well, what about, well, first of all, these dictators are not just my enemies. Okay? These dictators are also God's enemies. Now, why should we hate God's enemies? Because I'll show you why we need to hate God's enemies. I'll show you. It's in Psalm. All right, this is Psalm chapter 39, verse 21. This is that's the verse I'm talking about here. So, okay. All right, so let's read verse 21. It says right here, do not I that hate them, O Lord, that hate thee, and am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? And then when it says right here, I hate them with perfect hatred, I count them mine enemies. Okay, so this is why. So this is why we should hate dictators. Because, they hate God, so we need to, and they hate the Bible, so that's why we needed to hate them. Alright? And, that's why. And they're God's enemies. They're enemies of God. That's why we should hate dictators, because they're enemies of God. They're not just enemies of freedom of religion or speech. They're also enemies of God. And here's why. Because the dictators, they want to believe that they're God. They're trying to make themselves a god, and that's not good. So that's why. And that's why we should hate them. Or also known as loathe them. this is why, you know. And again, you can also find these verses in the KJV. In the KJV, which is right here anyway. Because I'm not going to read them all to you anyway. So, I'm going to tell you other things that dictators do. They leave people in poverty. And they're going to let you see what they want you to see. And that's not good. At all. You know, what they're gonna make you want you to see? Well, mostly propaganda. You know, and they're gonna tell you the country is perfect when it's not, because there's a lot of still problems. That's why they're gonna tell you everything. They tell you everything in the country is going fine, but no, it is not. You know, because. And they don't want you to talk about the bad stuff. That's why. But it's good so that we. But the problem is that doesn't solve the problem. So that's why. And why is so many countries do what they want to do is. Well, who is the most powerful dictators? Well, I believe it's, well, Vladimir Putin and also Xi Jinping. That's why. China and Russia are probably the most powerful dictatorship countries. And these countries can also start a war, and that's not good. You know, and even including North Korea, they might even try to invade South Korea. Now, I learned that China wants to do is invade this country, Taiwan. And that's not good at all. And also, and maybe also this country too, Japan. And that's not good either, so. And do you think, and they probably will even attack Mongolia too, and this is something that's not good either, but, you know. So, these are why it's not good. Oh yeah, this one is Russia-occupied territories of Ukraine. Alright. Okay. So, and look at these versions in the KJV, please. I'm just looking at the list of them because I try to look from all of them. But you know, this is what I know of, and this is not good. So that's why I'm against dictators, and I think you should be against them too. You know, you got too many countries that are ruled by dictators, and what do you have to do? Well, and I don't think we can make it all democratized anytime soon, because there's way too many of them. I know it's not good at all, but we have to learn something here. What we need to do is try to do is yeah, there's some more here, so oh yeah, Laos and Cambodia are other ones that are ruled by dictators too. Yeah, Laos and Cambodia. Okay, yeah, I forgot about those, but you know, it's just not good. So, and they're giving a list of dictators here. So, but probably not all of them. So, if there's any dictator that's missing on this list, you can let me know in the comments below. You know. But anyway, so that's why. And alright, so that's why. How long have I been making this video? Oh, 40 minutes. I'll try to get saved then, because I wanted to go back and doing other things. That's why. So, pointing false religion is a damn souls to hell. Then go to heaven and believe our Lord Jesus Christ. Salvation is by faith alone, grace and Jesus Christ alone. Once you know save each the truth, meaning you can't lose your salvation. So everybody each man's salvation is easy to do is believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. And now I know. Now you know why you should hate dictators. Because they're against God. They're against the Bible. And they're against freedom of speech and religion. So that's why. Alright, so my next video is called "What Does the Bible Say About Taiwan National Day?" Well, that's the national that's the day that Taiwan became independent. And on top of that next video. Because of the go rights now. And I'm talking about the country of Taiwan. Yeah, and I'll talk about the next video. Because of the go rights now. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it and say goodbye. Adios and Zai Chan.